This is the third video of the wargaming of the Virginia campaign of 1864 during the American Civil War. This is probably the monster of all monster games. The map is so huge I can barely tell where I am, even with the jump map here. And the number of turns is 1,390. I don't believe any other game even comes close to that. So this is a game to play. And basically it's the campaign from, I think, the Rapidan River all the way down to Richmond. So it's basically the big campaign in the East in 1864. I just wish they would have had the Atlanta campaign. What they did was they developed all of the individual battle scenarios, but they didn't develop a game like this for the West, which would have been the Atlanta campaign. It's too bad. Maybe they will someday, but I probably won't live long enough for that. But that would have been terrific. Anyway, we've got this one, and so that's pretty good. I'm playing the Union, and as usual, the Union has a shitty army. But, you know, it is what it is. The game's artificial intelligence is playing the Confederates. And they're like a top-notch army. I looked at some of their morale. My God, they're B's and A's. This stinking army is C at best, and then D's, E's, and even F's. You've got the scum of the earth in this army. So it's May 4th, 1864, 5 a.m. It's turn 1 out of 1,390 turns, and it's Union movement. And I think I might have concluded that. I was having real trouble with the cavalry because I don't like it being on the right flank of the Union Army. I wish it were on the left flank, but there's nothing I can do about it apparently, because the distances are so huge. Now this is the lead. Yeah, cavalry division. Okay, and I think everything back here is moved. Oh, that's right. These were all fixed. And all this stuff is the 6th Corps, and I think that's getting to be organized on the roads. All right, I guess we're ready for the next phase, which won't be anything because Confederate defensive fire. They won't be firing anything. Neither will I, because we can't see anything. So it's going to be Confederate movement. That's going to take a while, but they're a ways away from me. At least most of the units. Union melee? Nope. Confederate movement. Okay, now they're going to be moving up on me down the Orange Turnpike from west to east, and we're going to meet somewhere in the battle beyond, technically the Battle of the Wilderness. And then historically, I mean, the big battles that happened were historically the Battle of the Wilderness for a couple days, then Spotsylvania Courthouse, which is where you had the mule shoe and, you know, lead to the rear. And then you had Cold Harbor, and then Grant gave up going against Lee overland, and you had him transfer his forces by water to begin the siege of Richmond. So it's basically historically how the game plays out. So it's a huge map. I would say it's probably the biggest map. And I think I read somewhere it was 1.2 million hexes. Let's just see if that was right. While the Confederates are moving, they're going to take forever. Let's go look up this game. This is War Game Design Studio. If you ever want to play an online game, you go to this website. Game series. Oh, come on. Now you get all these friggin' advertisements now whenever you click on anything. Stinking advertisements. There it is, Overland Campaign. Features? 129 scenarios. Look at this. Yeah, over a million hexes for the map. Jesus Christ, what a battlefield that is. No, that is king of the monster games. All right, is he still moving? I guess. Oh no, Union defensive phase. Nah. Yeah, this is the biggest game I'm sure ever made. Hope I live long enough to finish it. All I care about is the movement here. Reinforcements. Christ, I don't need any reinforcements just now. That's probably Burnside's 9th Corps continuing to come on. All right, let's change the view. We're going to shut off objectives. I wish I could permanently shut that off because it clears up the jump map. So here's the jump map. There's what a million hexes look like. Okay, now you see all the blue hexes, those are where Union units are. If I see any Confederates, they show up as red hexes. So this is a great map to see if the Confederates have spotted you or you've spotted them, because you'll see red hexes here. So we don't see any. The Confederates are basically, I think, coming from around here, and they're going east, like along this road here. I'm pretty sure. So let's see where I am. Let's get at the head of column here. So this is the cavalry. And this is one of the main roads the Confederates will be marching up. Orange Turnpike. Where's the other one? Okay, where's the name on this one? Or the Plank Road. These are the two roads. And Orange is pretty far north. There's Wilderness Tavern. So I believe that's where our cavalry is headed. Yep. So we got a scout here out. I better drop the leader off. We don't want him to be captured initially. Let's see if there's anybody in these woods. Doesn't look like it, which is good. them to move the artillery 1 hex off the road, because I don't want them to go second in case there's an ambush. Oh, this cavalry can really move. Jesus. Look at these guys go. Go, man, go. Oh, put the leaders up there with them. This ford or bridge takes up some extra movement. That's why these guys are going to be spread out now, but they're still making great progress. Okay, so they've all crossed. Now we've got the infantry. Here they are. That's Hancock's 2nd Corps. We've got Hancock's 2nd Corps, Warren's 5th Corps, I think Slocum's the 6th Corps, and Burnside's the 9th Corps. So we've got four infantry corps, and they are huge. Now this corps had a brigade, which I'm splitting up to go down all these roads. I don't know if I need these guys to go in this direction. I may pull them back. Guys are like going through jungle. I think I'm going to leave one of them here just to make sure that no Confederate cavalry tries to slip through. Bring them up there. That's it. Okay, now here's some more cavalry. Wait, are all these guys cavalry? Yeah. And here's the infantry. Okay, so one cavalry to go down this road too. Jesus. Where does this come out? Oh. At Chancellorsville. Okay, we probably want the infantry. Well, I think we want the bulk of the cavalry to come down this road to form an obstruction here. Across here. Then I'll have some advance warning. If he's coming down the Orange Turnpike after me. Then I can set up to receive him in this open ground here. Let's see what elevations are. 10. Good. There's high ground here I can set up on. There's a lot of woods and a stream before this road. So I can set up right along here. The cavalry, if they have to retreat, can go down this cow path and come out here. Yeah, we'll see if I can do it. They may be Confederate cavalry, or I'm going to try to get the cavalry. That's what I got this dumb pointer for. Deployed around here. And then the infantry, I'll deploy Hancock out here, and hopefully he can screen the other corps while they march south. So that's the plan. So we'll send the bulk of the cavalry down this way. I don't know where his cavalry is, but I guess we're going to find out. Now the rest of the cavalry, there's only about a division here, is with Sheridan, and I think he's off in the Shenandoah Valley, so he rejoins the army, but not for quite a while. Now why we've got okay, now the army is going to go down this road, come out at Chancellorsville. Now, why they have this column led by a wagon is beyond me. So we're going to take him off because he's always slower. And we should not be needing any ammunition for a while. This is going to take for friggin' ever. Because he's so many counters now, because these are big corps. So because of the losses of Gettysburg, they eliminated the 1st Corps, the 3rd Corps, the 2nd Corps, the 11th Corps. And then they made the remaining corps a lot bigger, which was this. No, they didn't eliminate the 2nd. So the 3 that were left was the 2nd under Hancock, the 5th under Sykes. No, the 5th under Warren, and the 6th under who was it? Slocum. And then Burnside, I think his 9th Corps was in North Carolina, and they brought him up. I liked it better when they had more corps, but then of course They had a lot of troops leave that had signed up at the beginning of the war, solid veterans, but they were only signed up for 3 years, and so they had to muster them out. And then they got the lot of scum in the army, like bounty jumpers and draft dodgers and people with no training and no desire to fight. Their first desire was to run away and save themselves. So this is why you have such low quality in this army. That's one of the reasons Grant gave up against fighting Lee overland, because Lee killed 60,000 killed or wounded out of the army, 60,000 of Grant's soldiers, and those most of them were his veterans. So it was all of the C and up morale units here. So all he was left with was D, E, and Fs, pretty much. So he knew he couldn't fight Lee anymore. Actually, Lee was too good for him. I mean, the Confederate Army was too tough. So he had to give up any more overland fights. So Grant was nowhere near Lee's equal. He just had a lot more resources than Lee. He had the Navy and he had all these troops. And yet, even with that, Lee whipped his ass. And Lee had a constantly diminishing army, and he was forced to take conscripts. When he could get them, he couldn't even get them usually. His losses were irreplaceable. He just didn't have that much manpower. They shuffled around a couple brigades and returned some units to his army that were assigned to it, but that's almost all he could do. Any losses he took, just no replacements. That's why he lost. It's the only reason. But this was the battle. This was the campaign that decided things in the East. The one decided things in the West was the Atlanta campaign. Once Atlanta was lost, it was all over in the West. That would be a very interesting campaign to play as well. Geez, I wish they would have made that. I don't know why they did that. They did the same thing in Vicksburg for a Vicksburg campaign. They didn't make a campaign. They just made all these individual battles like Grand Gulf and Champions Hill and Big Black River, but they didn't make a campaign. Maybe this game they lost too much money making things of this scale. Christ, how do you design a million hexes? Jesus, this boggles the mind. But it's a shame. That would have been another great game. But they made a campaign for Antietam, which surprised me. And I'm playing that now. No, I just got done playing it. That was fun. I like the campaigns better. And I think they've got a campaign for the 7 days, which is good. And they have a campaign for the Nashville campaign, which would be interesting to play. And I've got it, so it will be played. Just a question of when. So they did a lot of campaigns, but I have a feeling, like I said, they didn't do the one for Atlanta because this may have broken the camel's back. This is just an awesome effort here. So it might have been too much. There's only so many resources, and when you start designing a game like this, geez, I've got to read some of I only know the basic rules. I've got to read, there's probably a lot of special rules here, like about reinforcements and stuff. So maybe this weekend I'll start reading some of these special rules. I'm sure there's a whole lot of them. I just know the basic game. And I played, how come this, oh, that's the way the road bends. I was going to say, how come he's off the road? I played Chancellorsville, and what did I play? Oh, the Union, and I quit it. Getting ready to sneeze here. Excuse me. Because the Union Army was just getting killed. I had two spearheads, and in each spearhead, the Confederates attacked with one unit and routed a whole Union brigade in each case with all of its artillery. And then I did some research on the battle, and the reason the Union Army, this is where they had those D and E morale units, and the units go just like class grades used to. I know that's not true anymore, but it used to be A through F. F is flunking. Now F is passing, and A is outstanding. Well, most of the Union units were F's, E's, and D's if you were lucky. So they ran away at the drop of a hat, and that's what happened. And the reason they were rated so low is because I guess 20 or 25,000 Union troops were the 3-year enlistees. Oh shit, I took the wrong road on this guy. There's a road junction here. Okay, I'll have to put them back later. Their enlistments would be up during the Chancellorsville campaign, and they took them with. Anyway, and so you can imagine what frame of mind these guys were in. They knew their enlistments were up, and they were taken into a major battle, so they just didn't give a shit, and I can't blame them. But that's why they ran away. But I took an added precaution. I took as many of them as I could out of the line and put them in the rear. But I couldn't do that to everyone, because that would be half the army. So anyway, I didn't understand that these guys were in that situation, because frankly I would have done the same thing as them. I mean, why get killed if you've just got to survive the next month? I mean, you just lie low. And so that's why those guys ran away at the drop of a hat. They weren't going to get in a sustained combat and then get wounded, lose a leg or an arm or their life when their time was up. So I thought, well, you just have to live with it. And that's what I'm doing here. Because this army, a lot of it is shit. Okay, you just have to play with it that way. Now, what are these other guys here? Okay, here's the cavalry. That was the Second Corps. Okay, who's here? Oh, this is stupid too. they have these couriers. I don't know what. Well, I'll have to look up. Maybe there's a function they have. They're only one man. That might be how you transmit orders in this game. I'll have to look that up. We'll have them go down here. I'm putting them as an advanced guard. Probably shouldn't do that, but. So I believe this is Warren's. Yeah, he's a goofy looking guy. He was. They later accused him of moving too slow, and they demoted him or kicked him out of the army. But he's the guy at Gettysburg. Only reason he was promoted to Corps Command, he saw that Law's Confederate Brigade was headed up towards Little Round Top, and on his own initiative, I think it was either Vincent's or Weed's brigade, he told them to get up there on his own initiative. And it was the right thing to do, and they just stopped the Confederates from capturing it. And for that reason, I think he was promoted. But then, I don't know if Grant or Meade didn't like him. They just didn't like him. And then I think it was almost a false accusation, because in the wilderness, nothing went according to schedule because they couldn't even get orders out. And I think that's what happened. The order took so long to reach him that it was impossible for him to get in a position. And since they didn't like him, they said, well, he was tardy and all this other bad stuff. And so they got rid of him. And then you had, of course, Slocum, who was notoriously slow. Look at him at Gettysburg. He stops at 2 taverns for about 6 hours, despite a battle raging at Gettysburg, mainly because he didn't want to go there. They'd have to, because of his seniority, they'd have to offer him the command, and he didn't want it because he thought, Christ, the battle's lost already. And so he intentionally stayed at Taneytown for half the day, and then he grudgingly moved forward. And his name was Slocum, and his nickname was Slow Come, because he always came to the battlefield slow. He was always real cautious. So that was kind of funny. But they left him in charge. I suppose they had no one better, but still, that's a sad testament. And then, of course, Burnside once commanded the army. I think he was slightly below average. So this is Warren moving up his 5th Corps. Where's the rest of it? Here we go. Oh, Jesus, these wagons again. I'm going to put them off on the road here. Why would they put them in the middle of the column? They move a lot less. A lot slower than these other units, so I always put them in back of the column. Usually you don't need wagons until you're in a serious fight for a while. Then you start running out of ammunition, so that's about the time they come up, which is good. You don't need them right in the beginning. At least I hope not. I hope they're not using a randomizer, which they might be. And you roll a die and you'll run out of ammunition if you shoot one round. I think in SPI's Terrible Swift Sword, you did that. You had a randomizer every time you fired. So some unit could fire 30 times and he wouldn't run out of ammo. In another unit, you'd fire the first time and you'd run out of ammo because it was all driven by die rolls. So it was frustrating as hell. Especially, I had an attack one time, like 4 out of 5 units ran out of ammo the first time they fired. It's like, Jesus H. Christ. That's the way the randomizer came up with it. All right. More Sykes Corps. It's probably his 2nd Division. Now, I don't know why at the beginning of this campaign the Union Army was scattered so widely. I mean, even this individual units like the 6th Corps, as you'll see, is scattered all over the place. They weren't even on the road. You'd think they'd have everyone on the road ready to go. Now I'm playing another game, the Battle of the Bulge, and I'm playing the Germans. And it infuriates me how bad their deployment was. I can't stand it. The units to repair the bridge, the engineers to repair the bridge, you would think they would have deployed them close to the bridges so they could go up there and repair them. No, they deploy them behind almost army headquarters, like is 30 hexes away. And then on all these roads, you've got them all clogged with all of these armored divisions that are fixed. And you got the bridge builders way the hell back there. So it takes them like 10 turns to get up to the bridges. I mean, what friggin' sense is that? Then they've got their best artillery. They've got the 88s and everything deployed like way. Oh shit! I don't want to move these guys. God damn it! See, can't. I wasn't paying attention. I wanted to move them here. Now this bastard, I moved there. Shit. Well, I don't think he's gonna. Oh, it turns out he doesn't delay me at all. But I'm gonna move him on. But see, that's what'll happen. These guys will delay you. So I always like to move them off. I was just shooting off my mouth here, so I didn't realize. But you know, you'd think again you wanted your artillery as far up, your good artillery, as far up as possible to bombard the Americans, but your best artillery is way back there, way out of range. And of course, it has to go through all of this traffic on the road. And then your shit artillery, like the 120 millimeter mortars and the 75 millimeter infantry guns, it's way up close. Now, the thing is, all the Americans initially are in pillboxes, and the artillery that's up there is okay against soft targets, like infantry out in the open and trucks, but it's worthless against hard targets. And the pillboxes are hard targets, which are perfect for the 88s, but all that's up there is the mortars and the 75s, and the shells bounce off those pillboxes like spit, and they're completely worthless. You bombard turn after turn, and you get no effect, no effect, no effect, no effect. And it didn't have to be that way. They got the artillery to do the job, all these 88s, but they're way the hell back there. So what happens is, and I tried a couple turns and I just gave up. Here I am doing the same goddamn thing. I gotta stop shooting off my mouth while I'm moving. I wanted to do this, but I didn't. see if this is going to make a difference. Nope, it didn't. That's as far as he could move anyway, but still. So anyway, what happens is you have some infantry that's across the ore. So they start to engage. Why do I do this? Did the same thing. Oh, but shit, it isn't going to matter because now that's all there is supply. Okay, fine. So what happens is you attack as the Germans. You have basically no effective artillery support. Your armor is stuck on the other side of the ore until your bridge repair units get up there, which isn't probably going to be for a whole day. And so your infantry tries to take on these forts and they get slaughtered. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my infantry over the ore back out of sight, and I'm going to bring the bridge repair units up, plus the 88s, and then just wait until the 88s are emplaced that can start bombarding these pillboxes. And I'm going to probably have to wait until they're over the Ore River. So I'll have to wait until the bridge builders repair the bridges. And that's a variable die roll thing, so that could take several turns. But I don't give a damn. I'm just going to wait. So the Germans are going to forfeit the element of surprise, I suppose. But there's no other way to do it because I went and attacked those forts and I got slaughtered for no effect. I surrounded one with the equivalent of 2 divisions and I couldn't take it. That's how ridiculous it is. So now I'm not going to take on those forts unless the 88s are there, and they only have a range of 4 hexes, but they'll crack those forts. So we'll see how that works out. I'm thinking this is more. Oh, this is 6 Corps. Okay, where's the rest of the 5th Corps? Is that here? No, that's the artillery park. And this is the Army supply train. Yep. What's this out here? It's a cavalry corps? Or cavalry division, it looks like. Ah. I still got to look for the 5th Corps. So where does this come out? Raccoon Ford. Christ, where the hell is that? Alright, where are those guys? So you get lost on this map easy without this J map. I don't know about crossing there. Can I join the 5th Corps here? Where the hell are they? Christ. Look at this. Jesus. Well, these guys go fast. There's no crossing here. Look at the shitty roads here. There's a good road here, but it probably runs right down into the Confederate Army, which is going to do, yeah, look at it, it's kind of a shitty road going south. I don't like this at all. I would say let's go across and join the 5th Corps, or come out and back of it. I don't want to cross down here. I'll be cut off between, the Confederate Army will be between me and Union Army. That won't be good. It'll be like a wasted division. I gotta find the rest of the 5th Corps. This game may be uninteresting to watch, I suppose, at least for a while, because everything basically is going to be movement. You just keep moving and moving and moving these units. Can't be helped. There's just so damn many of them. You get here D. That's your typical Union regiment at D. And that's why whenever there's a melee, you have a morale test. And so AI knows to melee the Union whenever you can, no matter what the cost. Because when you melee the Union, morale's likely to break. Because it's D, E, or F already. And once it breaks, everyone around him, and I think everyone next to him, when he breaks, he'll run back, and everyone adjacent to his hex has to test morale, but they test at one level lower than their morale just because he's routed. So if they're E, they test at F, which is probably a 5-6 chance to run. And so they run away, and then they infect somebody else, and you can almost have a whole division running away from one guy running away. Now, I don't know that, well, I guess that did happen, but it reminds me of ancient warfare when, they had an eclipse or something, and then one guy would run away and then the whole formation would break, but they were ignorant. But these guys, I guess, are pretty much the same. Look at how slow this. That's why I told you how slow these wagons are. Okay, so we got this cavalry division going. That's the Army Reserve. Here's the 2nd Corps here. Here's the 5th Corps. Maybe that's it. Yeah, this is the 5th Corps. Okay, so this is the artillery. This is the infantry. And it's going across this way. Okay, and here's the rest of the Corps. So it's a ways behind them. Why it's so far behind them, I'll never know. Oh, these guys moved already. Okay. All right. So now we're up here. What is this? 6th Corps. Okay, so I guess that was all there was to the 5th Corps. Where's the 6th Corps going to do? Who's this? This is 5th Corps. I'm looking to see if there's another fort they can go down. Nope. The road goes down here. And it comes out the same way. They're marching. So they really can't get around them. I can see why Granton got into trouble. This is just going to be one long road of units. But okay, we're going to go that way then. Ah, shit. Now why would these guys deploy all in line? What possible reason could there be? Were they expecting an attack? Shit, so now I got to put them in the column. You can only march on a road in column. What a pain in the ass. And stupid too. I mean, who would do that? You're 20, 30 miles behind the enemy lines. Oh, you got to go in line. Well, the Romans did. I guess every night they made a fortified camp. So it must be the same with these guys, no matter where they are. And with the Romans, it was a good idea. Because when they woke up, they found themselves under attack, and they had a nice camp to assist in their defense. Roman camps are pretty nice. They're really well fortified. They're laid out real logically. Look at E, morale. Got a winner there. Somebody just shits in their pants at night. Here's another one. Probably the whole brigade is E. Someone just shits in their pants at night. It's like a horse stampede. Everybody runs away. Like in those old movies. Guy used to blow his nose in at night, and then the horse herd would just, or the cattle herd, it was always a cattle. Oh, sometimes it was a horse stampede, but usually it was a cattle stampede. The dumb cows would just start running like they're out of their minds. We're running low on time here. All we're doing is just getting to the damn road. All these guys. Look at 629 men, and it's quality E. Now I'd rather have a 250 man that was a morale of B. Yeah, and they talk about the American Army. How great it was. It sure was. Shit, he went off the road. God damn it. See, you can tap the beginning point and the end point. If it's on a road like this, it'll go along the road. But if it's a cow path, it doesn't recognize it, so it just goes where it feels like it. See, it went completely off of the cow path. I keep forgetting that, and it's to my own detriment, because you just got to go in straight lines, so you got to click about 5 times, because these dumb friggin' flippin' units don't have enough sense to know where the cow path is. So you can go ahead on a straight line, but as soon as it's a curve, you better click on that curve. We're just about done here. Ooh, I forgot again, but it followed them. Well, at least they have the artillery limbered up. Guess that's something. I don't know why that's not unlimbered too. Alright, so Jesus, look at these guys. They're scattered all over creation here. Oh, there's another group. Okay, is there anybody out to the left here? Who are these guys? Okay, I believe this is the road we gotta get to. Well, it's 56 minutes. I'm going to can it now. I'll figure out where I'm supposed to go later. It'll probably take me the entire time, and then I'll have to do it all over again next time. So we'll continue with this. I'll be happy when these units are in close proximity. Then I won't have to do this looking around for the best road.